Let's head to the voicemail of Truth and Reason.
Hey Dave, this is Greg from Youngstown. Man, enjoy the show. Let me ask you a question. I've heard you kind of allude to and kind of passively address the undrafted free agents. But I think if you really would take some time and pause and look, you've got some gems in there. Some really good gems, especially when you start talking about safety. I was at Hickman from Ohio State, but I think you've got jewels right there in your undrafted free agent, and I think many times we pass over them because we don't get a big hoopla about them through the various rating services. But I think if you really take a moment and look at what we get with undrafted free agents, you'll be pleased. Hey, thanks for listening to me. Hey, go Browns.
As always, appreciate all the voicemails. G. Bush, I like Hickman without question. I like the Phelps kid that's an edge rusher. The linebacker that they guaranteed $250,000 is intriguing. It's still, for an undrafted rookie, it's hard to make the 53-man. It's hard to make the practice squad. It's really hard to make the 53-man. I believe Deontay Bell was the first one to do it in Andrew Berry's regime last year. Yeah.
So, no, it's extremely hard. And to tell you how hard it is, they just signed another safety yesterday.
Right. Yep.
They just signed another guy who, was, according to the PFF, had a really high coverage grade, played in the sports system. And so you just look at the guys that, you have to beat out. You have to be, there's a Grant Delpit. You got Thornhill. Those are your starters. They just got a guy the other day. Then you still have a guy that we just talked about, Deontay Bell. He made the roster. So there's so many different guys you have to beat out in order to make a 53-man roster. And when I'm saying it like this, you got to beat them out tough. Because if you look at it, one thing that can happen is he's an undrafted free agent. You know how much it's going to take for them to cut a draft pick? Because the draft pick, they've already had money guaranteed to them. They already had a signing bonus. So basically you're saying that you paid a guy, maybe $700,000, $800,000, $1 million that you thought was a good player. You're going to have to change your mind based on how good an undrafted guy is and to make a long-term assessment in a very finite amount of time, meaning, I only got to see this guy 4 or 5 weeks during the training camp, and he's that good that we have to cut guys we paid. That's hard to do.
Yep.
The best I always say to people is hopefully they can get to a practice squad. Hopefully they can, make it to that level. And then if he's that good, somebody will claim him off the practice squad and put them on a 53-man roster.
Or he develops and, midway through the year, there's an injury, he takes advantage of it. The main thing is come in and play well and see what happens.